from last week's episode on Okoyo. Watch this clip. But this is what happened. Once Okoyo landed at home in the village, he started saying things that he was used to. He grew around them. But now they were a nuisance and they were a bother. Okoyo started complaining of the frequent blackout, saying there is no light. Okoyo started complaining that there is no Wi-Fi. There is no internet connectivity in the village. At home he grew. Now, wherever you are watching us from, welcome again to LTS episode number 16. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just click the like button, click the red button, and we don't mind hearing or even getting to read your comments and your feedback. Now, back to Okoyo. Now, Okoyo forgot too soon that same place that he was complaining about was the same place he grew, was the same place that he had so much peace with, was the same land that he woke up every single day to enjoy the beauty of life. Now, remember now Okoyo is on vacation. Now, Okoyo opted to hire a private SUV Land Cruiser so that he can make a statement in his own hometown to the locals. You know, he is the man who had landed. Now, the places that he used to point out as areas that were reserved for a few, as if he wanted to rubber stamp some form of authority, Okoyo could spend the evenings in the nightclub paying off drinks to revelers. And in fact, Okoyo was even nicknamed Pewa Moja or Chafua Meza. People in this area will understand what I'm talking about. Now, as it is said, Okoyo was on a spending spree. Now, little did he know, as they said back at home, Skio la kufa, aliski dawa, translated directly to a person who cannot be able to be corrected. Even if you give him any form of advice, will never listen. Now, Okoyo was now sinking in a delusion, and he denied the reality of who he was and where he had come from. Now, Okoyo would be seen walking with 1, 2, 3 handsets, and it was the bling bling clad kind of presentation. Now, one day there was a heavy downpour at the lakeside, and Okoyo literally refused to leave the room because he said it was muddy outside and he didn't want to have his sneakers soiled. Imagine, you used to walk literally barefoot, and now you don't want to step on the mud. Okoyo, after spending about only 7 days in the village, Okoyo decided to cut short his vacation. The irony of the whole drama is, Okoyo excused himself that he was required back on duty very urgently. So he rescheduled his flight and he was back in Dubai within no time. Because he did not want people to know that he had cut his vacation short, Okoyo landed at night and he stayed indoors for a couple of days. Now, because of his lifestyle, friends of LTS, it is one thing to be yourself And it is another thing to live a double standard lifestyle. Okoyo could not stay indoors any longer. And in fact, after just 4 days, he broke his self-isolation and he was out and about. Now, with no money at hand, with the lifestyle to maintain, Okoyo started borrowing here and there. And of course, with no shame, that strategy of borrowing from friends wouldn't last him for long. Now, unlike back home, here there is law and there is order. Now, thinking that he would escape the long arm of the law, Okoyo became a frequent visitor to a place that was dubbed Mchangani. I'm sure the people in this area will really resonate very well with this name. Now, this is where they would gather in the middle of the sand dunes, especially in the evening when the sun has died down and there's no heat of the day, and they will drink themselves to a blackout. Okoyo was a member. Now, after some time, Okoyo upgraded himself and started vending the liquor, which was not a legit business. And as Papa Freddy says, business is your legit. Okoyo ngamwaya chemically. Now, since he was doing this fishy business from the trunk of his car, one day a client walked by and needed a bottle of liquor, and Okoyo indeed sold and he got the cash and he was so excited. Now the rest is history. Now, Okoyo alikuwa amejichocha, akona bizna. Now, little did he know, alikuwa anauzia bongo mwenye alikuwa na amevaa plain clothes. Buda. Hakujua vile alifika through desert. And in fact, he was arrested and he became the guest of the state for many, many months before he was deported back. Now, the reality of living a lie was now very much alive and well when Okoyo landed back home, where there was no Wi-Fi, where there was blackout, where there was mud. It was not right in front of him. Now, the many followers and friends that he was buying gifts and drinks were nowhere around him now. The daughters of Jezebel that surrounded him during the vacation were enjoying the rainy season with another Okoyo. Sadly, Okoyo sank into a serious depression. Now, it doesn't matter what you go through, where you are, home is the place where you will find solace. Home is the best place to be, and home will always be the last resort. Now, many have heard great opportunities that comes once in a lifetime so that they can be able to make ends meet for themselves. But they fall victim to the short-lived pleasures and meaningless instant gratifications. Now, it's okay to be happy. It's okay to reward yourself. In fact, it is encouraged to do so after hard-earned wages. It's okay. However, when you are in a foreign land, or if you are in a foreign country as an expatriate, I provoke you right now to think with me and ask yourself these very, very tough questions. Number one, what made you leave your country? Number two, where were you before you even got before you even got that offer that made you work outside your country. Number 3, what do you have to look back to as a prize or as a reward for working outside your country for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years? What do you have to look back to? Number 4, do you even remember where you came from? Do you even remember where you were? Now, these are deep questions that I'll provoke you to ask yourself. Do you have an idea of what you want to achieve during your work life abroad or in a foreign country? Are you aware there are some countries that don't grant permanent residency? Any moment, if you're in such a country, should your employment contract lapse or should you be terminated, you will have to face the real reality of what next. Now, if you had not managed yourself during the rainy season, then this would be a great tragedy. This is the simple truth of the week. Remember the main reason that drove you from your home country in pursuit of a better living or a greener pasture or even a career development. Forget not that maiden call that keeps you awake, that makes you work hard, endure challenges of being in a foreign country, and the very hope of reuniting one day with your homeland, bigger and better. Now, if then for no any other reason, feel the pain of every coin, every dollar, every dirham, every rupee, every kwacha or every pound that you earn and you work so hard to get. Don't just let your toil be in vain after years of working so hard with nothing to be proud of. Home is where we all belong. Now, join us in our next week's episode number 17. And in this episode, a real life story. Guess what happened? He came abroad to work. He sent money home for someone to build him a house and invest. He went home after years of sacrifice and fasting. And guess what the parents had done? Join us next week to find out what happens on this episode number 17. And we want to thank you so much, all those who have subscribed to LTS. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. We started with 1 subscriber. Now we are going almost to 500 subscribers, and we are counting on you to target and to make us reach 1,000 plus. So please go ahead, press that subscribe button, press the like, comment, and if you have any stories or experiences you want to share with LTS, be our guest. Drop me a line. Share your comments on the handles that are running down on your screen. And as we said, LTS is not about us, it is your story. And as we say it here in LTS, that means let's talk stuff. I'm sure you know it. Go ahead and join me the most highly valued asset of any successful company is the staff. So don't just let your toil be in vain after years of working in a foreign country with nothing to hold on to. Remember, east or west, home is where we all belong. So, jipange sasa ama ngamwaya kemikali. Until next week, see you on the next episode number 17 of Let's Talk Stuff.